Hi there! Welcome on board Jamaica Magazine for another informative journey. We make stops at the crossroads of revolutionary technologies. Stay with us, there's much to come on the other side of this message.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the four corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. Your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
November is commemorated as Local Government and Community Month. As we close out the period, let's revisit some of the major activities that were held under the theme, Building Resilient Communities Through Local Governance.
It is my pleasure this year to officially launch Local Government Month 2019.
How do we build resilient communities? The community is in the person, the people.
To our Honorable Desmond Mackenzie, Minister of Local Government and Community Development, we thank you for supporting the youth participation in the decision-making process where a political platform is concerned.
We are a coastal country. All our important organizations sit next to the ocean. Our parliament, our bank, our courts, our two major international airports, our oil refinery, you name it. Only the parishes of Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, the parishes are a distance away from the coast. We therefore have to take disaster seriously. Next year, Jamaica will be hosting the 7th Regional Platform on Disaster Risk Reduction in Montego Bay. Jamaica will be the first country outside of the great Latin America and the Americas to host such a conference of that magnitude. We are expecting delegations from over 40 countries. We intend also to use Local Government Month going right through until January to have an extensive educational program to sensitize the country about disaster preparedness and what our responsibility as citizens will be to that task.
So we are happy for this from a theme, building resilient communities through local governance, because as you know, we work with community groups and we want them to become more empowered as it relates to how they can, in their space, ensure that whatever they are doing, whether it be planting products or they're building, constructing, that they are doing so to safeguard against any disasters which might happen at any time. So it is a very important link to the lead SP.
I also use stuff like aluminum zinc that I use to make my pieces, like this one here. So this is a set with a combination of sea glass and also aluminum, and I hand painted as well, all cut and filed by me, the aluminum, and then I just did my designs on them perfectly for anybody to wear.
For your love, and I'm thankful that you came and died for me. Yes, I'm grateful for your grace.
And in first place, the award goes to the Riverton Meadow CDC.
We cater for community development where we have homework center, we have a reading lab, we have a family center, we have school, we have other outreach programs. We operate health centers, health fair, and all kinds of activities in order to empower the citizens.
Gordon Town CDC, the home of the Pineapple Festival.
I really thank them for their hard work, because it is through their initiative that we have developed our space, and we really thank them for recognizing the hard work that the community members have put in.
Today we are here to work with our residents, the construction of the administrative building, which is presently underway. We are expecting that by the end of February next year, going into March, I will come back here to officially open the new administrative office for this infirmary.
This year's theme, Building Resilient Communities Through Local Governance, is quite fitting.
Part of building resilient communities involves good solid waste management practices, and what we're doing here today, we're teaching people about reduce, reuse, recycle, the 3 R's of solid waste management, and we're also teaching them about composting.
It's very important for communities to understand that disaster resilience is critical to their well-being. If it is that communities don't play their own part, which SCC try to sensitize the communities around that, then certainly we will always have the matter of dealing with disasters. So I think it is very important that communities get involved in the process.
It doesn't really start at the community, it starts with self. Everybody has the responsibility to do what they can to ensure that the environment is kept in the way it should be.
The increasing use of computers and information technology is helping to drive development in Jamaica. And we now want you to learn more about the application of geographic information systems, which is becoming an increasingly important tool in our daily functions. Let's take a look at how this is being used across government ministries, departments, and agencies to improve governance and service delivery.
It's all around us. It influences how we work, learn, live, play and plan for the future. GIS is the short form of Geographic Information System. It's a computer-based system built to capture, store, manipulate, analyze, manage and display all kinds of spatial or geographical data.
In geography class in high school, persons were taught that in geography, we're able to locate where features are using coordinates. That's the basis of GIS. Knowing where these features are on the Earth's surface and being able to represent that within a computer-based environment where that is seen visually.
So it's a support tool that we use to provide additional extension to any business process.
And with this GIS technology, the government has been mapping Jamaica's course on the information highway. Leading that charge is the Land Information Council of Jamaica, LICJ, a mandate held since 1992.
Jamaica is considered the leading country within the English-speaking Caribbean with regards to GIS. We're able to provide direction, policy development.
In addition to coordinating the implementation of a national land information policy strategy, the LICJ has also been instrumental in developing a national GIS network. And with the foundation set, the Council is now focused on establishing and implementing a National Spatial Data Infrastructure, NSDI. Through that infrastructure, government will be able to capture, manage, maintain, integrate, discover, and distribute spatial data at all levels of society. The LICJ's mandate is executed through its secretariat, the National Spatial Data Management Division, NSDMD.
We provide a lot of technical support to all of these various government agencies that actively use GIS to carry out their mandate. We train these persons. Apart from that, we facilitate conducting GIS needs assessments.
Government is currently the largest user of geospatial and related technologies, and that usage runs throughout government. It's seen in the water sector, transport, disaster management, environment management, national security, education, health, and agriculture. But no other area has seen the proliferation of GIS technology than that of land use and development. At the Urban Development Corporation, GIS is used to streamline operations in various departments, including estate management, business development, architecture, and corporate security.
We are on the road now to our 50th anniversary, and we see GIS as being that enabling tool to provide UDC now with not just the way to make better decisions in development, but also improving UDC's image as a modern entity.
The same is true for the National Land Agency's land titling, land valuation, surveys and mapping, and estate management divisions.
A lot of the business processes that exist within the different divisions have GIS tied into it. So for example, there is no way that somebody can, at present, acquire a new certificate of title without some work happening on the GIS end.
The National Works Agency also uses GIS in project planning, land acquisition, and location analysis.
Everything that we do has a spatial component to it, and it's hard to deny that GIS is going to play a role in all of that.
Cost savings, greater efficiency, faster decision making, improved communication, and better record keeping are all derived from the use of GIS. And the private sector also has been getting in on the technology. Increasing GIS nationwide is also a focus for the LICJ and the NSDMD. To facilitate this, the government has signed an enterprise license agreement with the Environmental Research Institute. That agreement has been a game changer.
It has allowed us to be more efficient, in terms of accessing the data and using it to provide more information and to engage also with the public as well.
What it does is open up a whole new world. So there are almost no limits to what we can do with GIS and improving the way we handle our spatial data as a government.
As we strive to learn more about each other and the world around us, there is no doubt that GIS is the most practical and beneficial tool in this process. As Jack Dangamond, co-founder of the Environmental Systems Research Institute, said, GIS is waking up the world to the power of geography, the science of integration, and has the framework for creating a better future.
Solid Power Jamaica is an energy company which was founded in 2010. About 2015, we embarked on a new concept where we want to actually look at waste to energy, a solution for Jamaica in particular. So we conceptualize using existing street lights to convert into waste for our street lighting. And we successfully done that, and we entered the National Innovation Competition in 2016, where we won the category in energy and energy efficiency for our street light. Street light was tested by the Bureau Standard and was certified to be sold on the Jamaican market. The government is actually embarking on a streetlight program, where the problem at the moment is that at that time was that sometimes streetlights are on or half, and you don't really know unless you go on the location to do that, to check. So we embarked on a smart lighting technology, where we thought we could actually embed that into our recycled street light, and we successfully installed the smart lighting in our recycled light, and we are now able to control those lights remotely using our smart solar controller. So for example, we could stay anywhere in the world and turn these lights on via internet. So all of our smart solar street lights are now solar driven. So we install solar in either as a standalone unit or as another concept that we're actually promoting, which we call power wheeling concept, where you install solar at certain points across the country, inject that solar into the grid, and you actually power our existing lighting using that grid power. Also, we also have our standalone units. If, for example, you have a new stretch of light in a rural community or along the Highway 2000, it can all be powered from solar using our recycled street light and smart solar system. Our smart system can manage up to 200 lights on any one network. So we realize that having that sort of system allows us to have total control over our street lighting. Bamboo is quite versatile, and since 2018 we have also embarked on using bamboo to make lighting equipment. So we managed to make a desk light, LED desk light out of bamboo that was successful. We actually sent that to the Bureau Standard. They have actually tested that, and that's supposed to be with us in short order. We also looked at what we call the Jamaican sweet home lamp, and we also managed to conceptualize that into a light. And as you can see over there, it's a beautiful light, and we also have that light as a rechargeable light. So we're using phone batteries and a phone charger to charge that light. The way in which the world is moving right now is about innovation. You think about something and you have a go at it. And if you look around you, there are challenges. Our team was really predicated on the challenge that we had here with our existing lighting. Very, very inefficient. And we thought of looking at how we could make that more efficient. So if one wants to go into any business opportunity as it relates to innovation, I believe if you look around, you can see problems, and then there's a solution to that problem. And that's what we believe innovation is all about. Fixing existing problem, right? And come up with good solution where you can make an impact economically.
Did you know? The consequence of not exercising, consuming excessive sugars, trans fat, sodium and alcohol, and smoking is that sooner or later you will become seriously ill? These are known causes of non-communicable diseases, known to damage critical organs in the body, rendering them dysfunctional, leading to premature death. Avoid the unhealthy habits. Treat your body right. Eat well, exercise, and live longer, more productive lives.
It is not duppy take you over. It is not spirits. We have these myths that we do need to dispel in Jamaica. Some people think it's contagious, and it is not contagious. You cannot catch epilepsy. Anyone, anytime can get epilepsy.
So, what is epilepsy? It's a disorder of the brain characterized by recurrent seizures, which are short periods of involuntary movements involving a part of the body, a partial or focal seizure, or the entire body, a generalized seizure. Our brains run on electricity, which is produced by cells called neurons. In some people, these neurons sometimes produce a sudden electrical burst or power surge, resulting in a seizure.
Epilepsy is a chronic disorder, just like asthma or diabetes. It's a disorder of the brain. And so when a patient has a seizure, they do have unusual behavior at the time of their seizure. But otherwise, they're usually quite normal. It's also not a mental illness. People with epilepsy are not crazy. It's a brain disorder, but it's not a mental illness.
The cause of epilepsy can be genetic,
meaning that you can be born with a genetic disorder that predisposes your brain to be abnormally wired, and that you are more likely to produce these epileptic discharges and have seizures recurrently. Sometimes you may have, when the baby is being formed in the first few months of their embryological life, you may have an abnormality happening with the brain formation.
Then, there are other conditions that can occur at any time during someone's life that can cause epilepsy.
Those conditions that are acquired would be those related to a physical injury to the brain or an infection in the brain, such as meningitis, which is an infection of the covering around the brain, or an encephalitis, which is an infection of the brain substance itself, as well as you may have stroke, decreased blood supply, nutrients going to the brain, also causing seizures and epilepsy.
Seizures do not always involve convulsions or jerking of the body. There are in fact over 20 different seizure types. Many are quite subtle, as in the case of 12-year-old Liana.
We found out when she was about 3 months old. It was something very subtle. We found out that she was just staring in one direction for probably a minute or two, keeping that stare.
For Marvin Fullerton, his experience was different.
I first found out in 1994, November 1994, when I was in technical high school. What I did was feeling some itching on my skin. I went to the school nurse, asked her what was wrong with me, and she told me that I need to change my bath soap. Right.
And what happened after that?
Well, I changed my bath soap and nothing really changed after. But it was January 4, 1995 when I had my first attack. And I woke up in my father's car going to hospital.
Even though he was soon diagnosed with epilepsy, Marvin was able to live a normal life for most of his years as a student.
I was able to go to school. I was put on simple medications such as Tegitol CR 200. No problem. It was easy taking it. It prevented me from having an attack, but my body was not having much problems at those times.
Marvin went on to attend the Vocational Training Development Institute, VTDI, and the University of Technology. He holds a diploma in architecture and construction management. But despite his academic achievements, he still has challenges gaining employment.
I'm not working right now because it was just the other day I was in the hospital, right? And I got an interview for a job. The interview was wonderful, but I was in the hospital, so the job somewhat got turned down. They found out about the situation and I got turned down.
Unfortunately, there are those who believe that persons with epilepsy cannot work or lead normal lives.
Most people, 70 to 80% of people with epilepsy can have their seizures controlled. It's the person you employ who you don't yet have their first seizure. Those are the ones that you should be worried about, because any of us can develop epilepsy for different reasons at any time.
If you believe someone is having a seizure, there are some things you should never do.
Do not put any objects in the mouth. Do not put a spoon to hold the tongue down. Do not bring scallion. Do not take a dirty sneaker and put over the face.
So then, what should you do?
You need to cushion their heads. Whether you have a cushion or a jacket, you can take off and make a cushion just to support the head so they don't damage themselves. You loosen, if it's a man with a tie, loosen his clothing so that he can get some air and he can relax. You turn the person on the side. Do not put them with their heads right back. Turn them on their side and the tongue will fall and any fluids of the mouth will drain out to the side. And I guarantee you, you cannot swallow your tongue. A seizure would take between 3 to 5 minutes. Now, if the seizure continues for more than 5 minutes, you should take that person to the hospital.
Anti-seizure medication is the most commonly used method to control seizures. Discounts are available for epilepsy patients who are registered with the National Health Fund. But there are side effects. Some persons experience weight gain, drowsiness, irritability, skin rashes, and blood platelet changes, among others, all of which require understanding from those around them. Then, there is also medical marijuana or medical cannabis.
It seems to have helped a number of, especially children with epilepsy that have been intractable, that is difficult to treat. But in Jamaica, we still need legislation in order to use it, and there's still a lot of research that needs to be done about the dosing of the CBD or cannabidiol to be used to treat epilepsy, but it surely seems as though it may be promising.
Research has also shown that diets such as a ketogenic diet can help control the onset of epileptic seizures. The Jamaican Association for Epilepsy offers support for persons with epilepsy and their families. The association also holds regular meetings with members at the Andrews Hospital to share experiences and discuss concerns. They can be contacted at telephone 968-8274 or email jaepilepsy@gmail.com.
We've come to the close of Jamaica Magazine for today. We hope you've been enlightened and ask that you join us again tomorrow for more. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website, jis.gov.jm, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.